Alright, how's it going, guys? Star Chart here, bringing you a brand new kind of topic to this channel. So last semester, I did a project where I took the Worlds teams at the 2019 League of Legends World Championship Tournament, and I wanted to predict the winner. So I statistically made a model to predict the winner. And groups, the model does okay. Knockout stage does fantastic. Ran the model on the 2018 bracket, since the 2019 bracket turned out to be like a training data set because 2019 bracket was happening while I was making this model. So I ran it on 2018 and perfect. So we know the model works. So now we need to test the model more. And in order to test the model more, I figured, hey, let's take all of the LEC and LCS teams and rank them. And let's figure out, like, okay, let's look at trades that teams made, and let's look at moves that they decide to make in order to like get better during the off season. And then let's see if we can rank them throughout the split and see if we can accurately predict who's going to be the LEC champion statistically. Like, anyone can walk up and say G2 is the best team, they're going to win all of 2020. Surprise, surprise. Like, anyone can do that. But I want to see if I can do it statistically. I want to see if I can prove who the best teams are statistically without using like self-emotion stuff. Like, so I'm going to compare like me thinking about it as me and using my statistical model to help influence my thoughts on how to rank it. So we're going to have a my ranking and we're going to have a statistical ranking. And so let's get right to it. So the model says that for this year of LEC, G2 is the best team, and then Fnatic, and then Origin, and then SK Gaming, and then Schalke, and then Rogue, and then XL, Vitality, Misfits, Mad Lions. And as you can see, that is also recorded right here. Now, things we have to account for is we have to account for the fact that there are some missing players. Mad Lions, their team is basically all rookies. So that is a factor we have to account for. XL is a perfectly fresh team. We have data for all their players. We have data for basically anything we need XL wise. And one thing to note is that in the future, when we talk about XL, their support, Norskaren, now goes by the name of Tor. So in future videos, when we talk about Tor, we mean Norskaren, who played for Splice last year. The Vitality, mid laner, and AD carry, Milga and Comp, respectively, are rookies this year. They did not play in the LEC last year. They did not play in any major region last year. So they are rookies this year in terms of the LEC and major League of Legends regions. Misfits is a very interesting case. So they have Bavoy, their AD carry, Razor K, their jungler, Ronaldo, their starting mid laner, all played in a minor league last year. They didn't play in a big league. And Misfits drafted all of them. We have Febvin, and Febvin was used to calculate the Misfits score. But however, Ronaldo is the starting mid laner. So since Ronaldo is our starting mid laner instead of Febvin, we'll be interested to see if Ronaldo helps increase Misfits' score overall. Well, it'd be really interesting to see how Bavoy, Razor K, and Ronaldo act on Misfits' score so far for the LEC. We can only infer that they're going to improve as a team, given that they're all rookies and we only are scoring technically 2-3 players on their team. But we'll be interested to see how this team of rookies also works out. Other things to note is that we calculated Forgiven's 2016 data into Schalke's score, and we calculated Julius's 2018 data into Schalke's score. Given that 2016 was the last time Forgiven played in the LEC before he went off to military duty, and Julius played in the LEC in 2018 but he did not play in the LEC in 2019. Rogue, their whole roster, we have data. Check. Limit, the support for SK Gaming, we do not have data. But interesting thing to note about supports in this model is that if we look at a typical game of League of Legends, supports are more known for boosting everybody else on their team. Their scores, model-wise, don't have the largest impact on how a team does, except their play, like their crowd control, their zoning, their playmaking capabilities that they do throughout games help boost everyone else on the team's score. And so, but overall, limit score missing from SK's total score isn't that big of a deal in the long run, because of just how supports work and how they play a role in which they're trying to boost everybody on their team, and their actual score, their actual player score will never be that big. Fnatic, we have their entire team. Things to note is that we have self-made over Broxa this season, which we will talk about later. Origin, we are missing Destiny, their support, otherwise we have their whole team. And so again, with supports, the support score doesn't make that humongous of an impact in this model, but they are very important players that impact everybody else's score and overall make the team as good as they are. G2, we have their whole team. The thing to note about G2 though is that they have caps and perks switching roles, and yes, we talk about that later as well. So again, the model says that we have G2, Fnatic, Origin, SK Gaming, Schalke, Rogue, XL, Vitality, Misfits, and Mad Lions. So we gotta remember that we are missing a bunch of rookies, and we don't have data for them. And we have to remember that we are using old data for players that is not the most current. And we have role swaps, and we have other interesting things happening throughout all the teams. But for preliminary ranking, this is what it is. Now, my ranking, we just let's not get to that section yet. Let's not get to the controversial roster section yet. First, we need to talk about my ranking, my personal ranking. So, of course, I have G2 as the best team in the LEC. Origin, I have as the second best team. I think that once Destiny score gets in the model, that Origin will be a statistically better team than Fnatic, and I believe that they can outperform Fnatic this season. I have Schalke over SK Gaming for reasons that we will talk about later, and then Rogue, Vitality, Misfits, Mad Lions, XL. I think that the rookies on Misfits, Mad Lions, and Vitality will all be able to surpass XL as a team. And I think that Vitality will be a little better than Misfits. I think that both those teams will be a little better than Mad Lions. It'll be interesting to see how the actual season plays out. It'll be interesting to see if the rookies perform up to expectations or exceed the expectations statistically. It'll be really interesting to see. So for right now, these are my preliminary rankings. We'll see how it progresses throughout the season. Let's talk about some roster changes that happened. So Schalke signed Forgiven, and Upset went to Origin. And so Forgiven, when he was asked in 26, not 20, was it 20? No. I think it was when he was playing for SK Gaming, he was asked a question. He was either playing for SK, I think he was playing for SK Gaming when he was asked this question. He was asked if he thinks he was the best AD carry in the league, and he said by far. Now, we looked at all of his statistics for 2016, and yes, he was the best AD carry by far, statistically. So when he said he was the best AD carry by far, it was true. So we'll see, but Schalke giving up Upset is like, it's an okay move. I'm not really sure how to put this. Upset is statistically one of the best if not the best 80 carries in the LEC for summer 2019. Outside of Perks, Upset was probably the best 80 carry in the league. And Schalke giving him up seems iffy. It's a fantastic play by Origin to sign Upset. It's an amazing play by Origin to sign Upset. But Schalke, it's iffy for Schalke and G2. It'd be iffy for Schalke or G2 to pick up Forgiven. It's not iffy for any other team in the league statistically to pick up Forgiven, but it would be iffy for G2 and Schalke. Except if Forgiven proves that he is as good this year 2020 as he was in 2016, then I have no doubts in my mind that Schalke will be a fantastic team. In fact, even though I have Fnatic over Schalke here, I think that Schalke could push to be a top 3 team, if not a top team in the LEC. I don't think they'll be better than G2 by any means, ever. But I think that Schalke has a lot of potential if Forgiven pulls through as still the best 80 carry. And Julius is a good jungler. We have to remember that Julius is still a big moving part on Schalke as well, and we gotta see how he performs. Otherwise, Schalke's pick up Forgiven is huge. Other things to talk about is that Origin. I think that Origin signing Upset is the best move in the offseason. Period. For LEC. The best offseason move in the LEC is definitely Origin pick up Upset. And it will show during the season. G2 having Caps and Perks role swap is actually statistically a really good play. It's very low risk and it's very high reward. Perks statistically in 2018 was a better mid laner than Caps was. And if we were to look back on 2018, Perks himself said the only reason that he switched to 80 carry was because he thought the team would be better as a whole with Caps on it as mid laner and him as 80 carry. But now we have Caps switching to 80 carry and Perks going back to mid. So we have statistically the best mid laner 2018 in the LEC back being a mid laner. And if Caps can perform like Perks did last year, then the skill ceiling of G2 is actually way higher than people are giving it credit. I think that if the role swap goes moderately well, then G2 will be an even larger contender for winning Worlds this year than they were last year. Only time will tell how that actually plays off. But overall, statistically, if we look at things in the statistical manner that we're trying to look at things, Caps and Perks role swapping is a really good move in the long run. Fnatic signing Selfmade is actually statistically correct because Selfmade statistically is a better jungler than Broxa. And there were communication issues in the Fnatic roster anyway. But overall, statistically, Selfmade had better, more consistent aggressive plays than Broxa did. Broxa is a more aggressive player than Selfmade is, but Selfmade has more consistent aggression than Broxa has. So it'll be interesting to see if that pays off in the end and Fnatic becomes an overall better team. We'll find out as the season progresses. But Selfmade over Broxa is a good move for Fnatic statistically. We should add to this. Vitality and Mad Lions have a very fresh squad. Misfits also has a very fresh squad. So it's going to be interesting to note how these 3 teams of rookies play out in the end, because Vitality, Mad Lions, and Misfits are all pretty much rookie stocked teams. So it'll be interesting to see how they stack up to the rest of the league and if they can meet expectations or not. Otherwise, that's pretty much all I have. We have a ton of rookies coming to LEC this year, so it'll be cool to see how they play out. the G2 role swap between Caps and Perks is statistically amazing, and hopefully it pays off that way. And Origin sign upset, humongous play, and can't wait to see how that team performs in the LEC this season as well. A lot of exciting things to happen. It'll be fun to track it all statistically, see how it plays out throughout this year. And that is pretty much all I have to talk about with the LEC. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like on the channel, subscribe to it, because I will be making more content like this. I actually very much enjoyed putting in all the background work to make this kind of content. Huge shout outs to oracleselixir.com. They provided free Excel spreadsheets with all this data on it for me to manipulate with my model, and I'm very thankful that they had that data all set to go for anyone to use. And shouts to the background music, which is the Worlds theme for 2019. Given that this model was made to predict Worlds perfectly, this background music is perfectly suited for this video. And that is all I have. Thank you. Socials down below. All the credits that I just said out loud will also be in the description down below. And I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys later. But the most important part of all is I hope that you guys have an awesome day.